Thank you for the warm. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let me quickly make some few corrections. I was just told I was carried away by the fantasy of the medical doctors. And I know that Darlington is a medical doctor, so I called doctor. And so I crave your indulgence that he's Professor Darlington Obase, Medical Director, University of Benin Teaching Hospital. Prof, thank you for your understanding, sir. Let me also acknowledge the presence of Professor Mrs. Ngozi Ilo. She's already here. Madam, you're welcome. I also understand that one of our landlords who is hosting us today is also here. The Deputy Registrar representing the Registrar, H.O. Osahon. You're welcome, sir. This note, I want to crave indulgence that we now take off the national anthem as part of our symbol and our symbolism. DJ, national anthem. You may now sit down. God bless Nigeria. Can I hear amen? God bless Nigeria. On this note, let me now invite our convener, the symbol of, can I invite Dr. Osahon Enabulele? Osahon Enabulele, please speak to us, sir. Thank you so much.
The man who actually superintends over this edifice, the Vice Chancellor of the University of Benin, Professor Edoba Omorege, SAN, who is here ably represented by the Deputy Vice Chancellor Administration, Chief Medical Director of University of Benin Teaching Hospital, my own CMD, Professor Darlington Obase. You're welcome, sir. The Managing Director of ITV and Radio, a very strong partner of this foundation, Engineer Elvis Obase. I recognize your presence on the high table. Of my own class of 88, Federal Government College, Ukari. He has come all the way from Yola, Adamawa State, and a one-time deputy governorship candidate in Adamawa State. By no means a list. Members of my family, my wife, my lovely wife, Professor Osahon Enabulele, and of course, my children who are here present, represented by my son, my lovely son, Osahon Michael Enabulele, insisted that he will be here today to witness the ceremony and be part of the Nigerian discussion. You're welcome, my son. And of course, my mother is here, Evangelist Rachel Enabulele. She gave birth to me, and I'm happy that she's here. Mommy, you are welcome. And of course, my mother-in-law, Mrs. Veronica Oriere. I want to conscript all of them to the Enabulele family. You're welcome. And of course, our able board of trustees, Benin City, Edo State, Nigeria. It is no longer news that the world is currently faced with various challenges that threaten the well-being and prosperity of citizens all over the world. Similarly, countries in sub-Saharan African region are equally faced with daunting challenges that continually undermine the expected growth and development of African people, whose life expectancy, unfortunately, remains the lowest in the world and projected to remain so by the year 2048. The story of Nigeria is undoubtedly not different, as more than ever before, our country and our citizens are facing one of the most excruciating periods in their history. Except we are in a state of denial, most Nigerians are no longer truly proud to say they are Nigerians. Indeed, in our survey of a population of Nigerians, most of them expressed hopelessness and wondered why we were still bothered about the Nigerian question. Certainly, anyone who has been following trends in Nigeria, no day passes without Nigeria getting inundated with all sorts of terrifying and spine-chilling news, particularly bordering on debasement of our overall humanity and prosperity. The very worrisome news of all forms of leadership failures, economic depression, unemployment, and the increasing state of poverty, with over 133 million multidimensionally poor Nigerians, electoral fraud and corruption, poor access to quality health care and education, worrisome levels of insecurity, violence, criminality, and increasing ritualistic propensities in some parts of Nigeria, as well as other unceasing negative trends, such as the virtual collapse of family and moral values, and non-corrupt Nigerians to positions of responsibility and authority in various sectors, have all given the pervasive impression that human life and patriotic selfless service no longer have any value in contemporary Nigeria. Undoubtedly, most Nigerians have been plunged into a miasma of hopelessness and unfathomable, but can everyone jackpot? Really and truly, Nigeria has virtually need to reignite hope amongst citizens with Dr. Osahon Enabulele Foundation in ways that reflect our shared commitments. We have assembled some renowned scholars and citizens to altruistically engage these issues in a colloquium that has been put together as part of today's official launch of the foundation. We are grateful to all our speakers, panelists, and moderators for honoring our invitation. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I wish to unequivocally state that the Dr. Osahon Enabulele Foundation is neither a run-of-the-mill foundation nor a personal average and the well-being of underserved communities. Throughout my journey across the world, I have witnessed firsthand the challenges faced by underserved communities and populations. Throughout my journey across the world, I have witnessed firsthand and good governance, including advocacy for transparency, for transparent and accountable governance practices. Very soon, it's not that we do not have policies, but the policies most times and we support initiatives that enhance access to quality learning opportunities. We shall also undertake capacity building and research. The foundation therefore wishes to publicly call on individual members of society, home and abroad, organizations, and other institutions who wish to partner with the foundation or to offer their kind material. And together, we can create a legacy of hope, care, and opportunities for present and future generations. We are thankful for the grace, wisdom to everyone who honored our invitation to grace this epoch-making occasion, despite your evidently busy schedules. Oba Atokpe! Oba Atokpe! Inability to secure a flight, very unfortunately, he had to, of course, reschedule. But I want to assure you that he's here with us in spirit and is following this conversation, particularly those who came from far and wide, outside Benin City, to participate in this conversation. I want to specially recognize and appreciate Mr. Amos Yusuf, who left Yola and Somali.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I will say. Let me, while we were having the chairman, the DG talking with us, give an insight into why today's ceremony become epoch and iconic. We heard him very clearly. It means that all of you can be proud.
By Dr. John Anyonye, a very big doctor. Sir, please, we like to share from your grace.
Abina Idowu, Osahon. Is she here? Thank you very much, ma. Thank you so much. We are proud to have you. She's been one of those people who have lived the life of many people. And I'm sure at the time we get to him, we'll hear the story about her own background. Executive Director, uncontestable activist. He is a man I've always seen as, in spite of all his class, he has taken Nigeria as first-line charge. I will pause. Obayuana, please, sir. Rise. Can you rise for recognition, sir? Rise for recognition. Thank you. Thank you.
Chairman, Nigeria Medical Association of Edo State, and all Chairman, Nigeria Medical Association of Edo State, and all currently representing the President, Professor Audu Bala, Nigeria Medical Association. You're welcome, sir. Agasedo, Edo Odion, Edo Gasogoma, Edo Odion. We would like to introduce and welcome the cultural team, if they are ready now, to do us the cultural dance.
Let's have a cultural trip so that they can give us a small tip. And then in 5 minutes, we'll be done, and then we'll go back to our program. No, sorry. Why not consult with the chair?
But the return is we're going to be wasting this man's time. Okay, after the opening remarks by the chairman, yeah, we'll take the no, after the individual, we'll take this, we'll take the lecture, and then we'll take the first goodwill message. Yeah? So that people can listen to the talk. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Aha. Very much. Can we put hands together for them? Wawesi, Kakabo.
Please charge.
Thank you so much. What elegant. What elegant. Fantastic. Thank you very much, madam. Thank you. Thank you, the troop. This is wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. Just pause a while. We are having so much time for you today because Edo is symbolic. Thank you very much. Wawesi. Thank you very much. Yes. Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Let me tell. Thank you, thank you, thank you. No. Thank you very much. Please, can we put our hands together for this downstroke? Beautiful, beautiful.
Low back.
That is what we are known
Please
for.
charge.
The symbolism of Edo. Thank you very much. On this note, I crave your indulgence that we just have a small touch to change the mood of the hall. Today is a day to celebrate our next freedom. This country must be free, intellectually and materially and idealistically. We must be free. On this note, let me now invite to talk with us the chairman of today's occasion, who will be giving us a small talk and to encourage us on where we're going to go to. The rep of the Vice Chancellor is here. He's going to be giving us talk to us as the opening remarks. Mr. Chairman, sir. Remarks. Mr. Chairman, sir.
The convener for this occasion and the Director General of the existing protocol for the sake of time. My Vice Chancellor...
We'd like to know you, sir. If it's not here,
Congratulations, sir. This is a great feat once again.
Thank you very much. I guess our hands must come together again once more for this unveiling of history. Osagai. Please listen to him. Thank you very much. Prof, sir.
Thank you very much, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellencies. Let me begin by congratulating Professor Osahon Enabulele. You will soon see why his name, his alias, the Lion Killer, would make him an eminent leader. You will soon see that. But I'm very delighted to be here to share this occasion with you and this moment. The son of ours, Osahon Enabulele, that God has blessed so very much and so very well, who has served man and served God and served community and served country and served humanity. That today he wants to institutionalize something that he owes everyone and all of us, take him to even greater heights, and that this foundation will then lead the transformation that we have all looked for in our country. So, Osahon Enabulele, congratulations. You have conquered the world. It is time to conquer your space, your environment. Let me also take the opportunity to congratulate Professor Edoba Omorige on his assumption of office as the Vice Chancellor of the great University of Benin. Now, many of you here only know him as, the VC, but for us, he's a homeboy from the New Benin axis of Benin. New Benin is the heartbeat of Nigeria, and that's where we all quickly, so that I don't bore you at all, dig deep into a topic that I'm sure you would enjoy. It's a topic entitled that leadership is a problem with Nigeria. So you will join Chinua Achebe to say the trouble with Nigeria is leadership, isn't it? If we had good leadership, our country would be different. If we had good leadership, we would all not be here. We would be opposite, and there is a problem with leadership. I think that's a critical issue. Here we are, you would have read in Cinderella books, if you were a kindergarten child, the kinds of things that the genie will do. Somebody comes and it's a potluck. There's fortune seeking. We are all looking for the kind of leader that maybe God has not even created. There is a leader we are looking for in Nigeria. How do we get that kind of leader? This is a big question. I want to say to you that leadership has become an even more amazing problem. Because all over the world, since the 20th century, we have witnessed a collapse of leadership. Everywhere in the world, there's a collapse of leadership. And somebody has said that whether it is in America, or it is in India, or it is in England, or it is in La Côte d'Ivoire, or it's in the Gambia, or it's in Ghana, or in Oredo local government, there is a leadership problem. And therefore, don't let us think that if we have a leadership problem, it is peculiar to Nigeria. Has never been and will never be. The whole world has been searching for good leadership because all societies will be in trouble if we don't have good leadership. What I want to do to you in 5 minutes is to make a presentation in 2 parts. The first part is to take you to my Political Science 101 class and give you the basis for appreciating what I'm going to say in the second part. So you can see that there's leadership in everyone here. And so you don't arrogate leadership to only people like Osahon Enabulele. You know you're all leaders in your own rights, whether as a father, or as a mother, as a student, as a youth. Wherever you find yourself, you are a leader. Now, what does leadership entail? And why do we think that leaders can make a difference? It is simply because leaders have what you know as power. Is that right? What leaders have as instrument for whatever they want to do is power. Now, what is power? Power is the ability of one man, called Mr. A, to make another man, Mr. B, do what he, A, wants B to do, whether B likes to do so or not. Is that right? So A has power over B when he's able to get B to do what he wants. It's the same with leadership. If you are not able to exercise such power over people, you cannot be a leader. So the basic instrument of leadership is power. So you first have to have power. How do you get power? Now think of it. Any of us can go out there and maybe after we cross the Unibank gate, somebody stops us with a gun. And he says, you sit down there. I'm not sure many of us will disobey. We are likely to say, thank you, sir. In fact, some would say, where have you been? I've been looking for you. and you begin to roll on the floor. That is power in a different sense. It's called coercion. Coercion. You know, that means that you don't accept the power that is exercised over you. Now, when you accept power that is exercised over you, you no longer talk about power, you now talk about authority. Is that right? You talk about authority. Authority means power that has become accepted so it can be exercised over me. Now, that acceptance is called legitimacy. Is that right? So we say legitimacy means I recognize your right to rule over me, to exercise power over me. That's your legitimacy. So if you're looking for a mathematical formula, you will simply say power plus legitimacy equals authority. Is that right? Power plus legitimacy equals authority. Now, how do I acquire power and legitimacy and authority? A long time ago, a famous sociologist, his name is Max Weber, says there are three ideal types of authority. That is, you can acquire legitimacy in one of three ideal ways. There can be more than three. That's why we say they are ideal ways. First, he says, there's traditional authority. Traditional authority. This is authority exercised by people who hold traditional office. And we accept their authority and their legitimacy, and we obey their rules because this has been the practice from time immemorial. Is that right? So, the Obas, the Obis, the Emirs, we don't contest what they say because that's tradition. We just accept it. Okay? Now, in classical theory, it's also been taken to the level of what you call the divine right of kings. So kings have a divine right. It's like a divine authority. It comes from God. The Beninese will say, okay? So it comes from God. God, those traditional authorities with such powers. That's the first ideal type. The second ideal type is a legal, rational, constitutional authority. This is power that is derived from the Constitution and is the basis of constitutional government. So if you find somebody who embodies the office that is prescribed in the constitutions of the Constitution, has won an election and has been given a certificate of return by INEC and is therefore declared returned, that person begins to exercise power because you have given him or her authority through the legal constitutional process. Okay? Even more interesting. It's called, don't you have? Now, this is something that comes from the Greek language. Charisma comes from the Greek language. It is the gift of grace. It means the gift of grace. Now, if you find somebody who is able to do extraordinary things, somebody who can tell what tomorrow will be like and tell you what exactly would happen and so on, you believe that those guys have supernatural abilities. They are more than human, and they bring things to be as though they were not, and yet they are real. People who have the sixth eye, the 10th eye, the extra eye, the kinds of things you are looking for. Now, those kinds of people have what is called charisma. And the typical charismatic people that we know of would be Jesus Christ and the Holy Prophet Muhammad. Jesus Christ, because they say, is this not the son of Joseph? He's doing extraordinary things. He's just doing extraordinary things. And so, you know what charismatic authority entails. Somebody who is so set apart, who is so different, that you would not but bow. If the person says come, you will come. If he says go, you will go. If the person says go and fight, you will go and fight. That's the stuff of which charisma is made. Is that right? Now, for us as mortal beings, ordinary, we are not Jesus, we are not Muhammad. We are not at all. We are ordinary human beings. We have had charismatic people in our midst. And the thing that comes with charisma many times is Her Excellency Ambassador Tokumbo Awolowo Dosumu ran for office in Lagos State. She wanted to be governor of Lagos State. And the symbols of her campaign, she had Awolowo's cap and his rimmed glasses. You know, as though when you see these things, you know, I am Awolowo personified. Now, many of us may not also remember that when our president of Nigeria was running for governorship in Lagos that long ago, he had posters that showed 3 people. Left was Mahatma Gandhi. Next was Obafemi Awolowo. Next was the great Jagaban himself. And what did all the 3 have in common? Round-rimmed glasses. And he said, like minds think alike. Now, so, people can make capital of charisma. And to see that if you are Azikiwe's son or daughter, people would believe that there is a DNA that makes you properly Azikiwe. Okay? Yeah, but you know, when Saraki tried to do that in Kwara State, the movement started. And they say, like many people do in Nigeria, we cannot serve Baba and come and serve the children. It has to be, we must break the yoke. Okay? But that's the point. These are the 3 ideal types of authority. You can become legitimized, you know, either way. Either one or the other, or even a combination of all the 3 of them. Now, that's easy to settle. What is not so easy to settle is where do we get people to recruit into leadership positions? Now, this has been a problem for all political philosophers since the world began. Because, and that's also political science 101, you must know, why leadership? It is because there's somebody you have not heard of. His name is Karl Marx. Karl Marx said, it is possible for all of us to live in a society. And that if we have a proper revolution, the kinds of things we have all looked forward to. If you read Animal Farm, you would have seen, you know, Morel the sheep, who was dreaming of the sugar candy mountain that was flowing with milk and honey. If you read the Bible, you would find a glimpse of heaven. It says in heaven, it shall be for each according to his need. Is that right? Now, Marx was saying, how do we find such paradise where it will be for each according to his need? He says we'll find it in a classless society. If we find a classless society where we'll all be equal, then we'll all get our due, our right due. There will be justice everywhere. Nobody would oppress. Nobody would dominate. Now, but there was a counter position. They said, one of them is called Robert Mitchell. He says classlessness and that kind of equality is not possible. It's naturally impossible. And so he has a famous dictum that says, he who says, let us organize, is saying by the same token, let us be led by a few. That is called oligarchy, ruled by a few. If all of us here, being very intelligent people, decide to start a movement, we know that we cannot all have that movement together. We will say, let's organize and elect some leaders who will lead us. So he says, once you say, let us organize, you're also saying, let us be led by a few people. That's the essence of, he who says organization says oligarchy. Okay? So it's almost natural that we would not be in states of anarchy. We want order. We want to be organized. But those who will take charge of that organization would have to be a few people. Granted? Now, how do we get these few people? There's a philosopher called Aristotle. He says if you want leaders who would organize and lead societies well, to make everyone happy and there will be justice, you must go for people who are masters of politics. Not politics the way we organize it, not your politics, not your own. But this is politics of a higher order that you would understand in a short while. That the greatest requirement that makes you eligible for office of a leader is that you have the theory and practice of politics, which he called the master science. By master science, he meant if you are versed in politics, then you know the ethics, you know the morals, you know science, you know philosophy, you know the forms, and I will explain that in a minute. What is form? The Greeks believed that it is not everything that you see physically belong to the forms that you don't see. So those who have the inner eyes through knowledge and insight are those who qualify to lead. And that's why he says you should. Now Plato says you can only have such leadership from the ranks of those he called the philosopher kings. Okay? Those who are knowledgeable and so on. Now, so many societies are looking for their brightest and best. People who have vision, people who have understanding, and who can lead people. Let me push to the second section, but create a bridge. There is what is called the allegory of the cave. And I want you to listen attentively. Please. This mic is better than the other one. I want you to listen attentively. Imagine for 1 minute that all of us here, I have 2 minutes. Oh, okay. Even if it is 1 minute, it's fine. It's okay. I'm sure you're tired of listening to me. I should carry on. Now, imagine that all of us here were in a cave, and that cave, has no outlet outside, and that we have all been like this since we were born. We have never had the opportunity to see what goes on outside. To worsen matters, all of us are glued only to one side, as we all are now, and then we are manacled from the neck down, so that we cannot even turn to the right or turn to the left. But what happens is that between us and the outside world, there is a void that has fire glowing there. And what we see ahead of us is an image that shows the shadows that the fire throws out at us. Do you understand? That's all we know. And that's all we have ever known. That's all we have ever seen. Now, human beings cross from time to time. And at that same time they are crossing, they are conversing and they are making noises. So we associate those things with the reality. We have never seen, but it's a shadow that we see. Imagine that having been like this for such a long time, one day, one of us is taken out of the cave. And the guy goes out. First, he's blinded because the sun is something he has never experienced. We've been in the cave that's been dark for all of our lives. So now he sees the sun. And the sun is so bright. And then he begins to see human beings. When he begins to focus. You remember the miracle of the man who was blind and was given his sight. Jesus says, what do you see? He says, I see men walking as trees. He touches his hand again and he clears. What do you see now? I see men as men. So this man, when he first got blinded by the sun, was not seeing men as men. You see? He probably saw them as trees and so on. But when he saw, it occurred to him that what they have been seeing all their lives is surreal. It's not real. You know that the real world is different. The world is not what we think. But when he comes back, he's blinded again because, you know, he has left the sun. And all of us then say to him, whether the world is good or not good, you can go wherever. This is good for us. In Benin, we would say, "Eniye mame." This is good for me. You go and look for whatever, the province of Potenza.
The technical people are well ahead of me. Can you please come down a bit? Thank you. And the MC comes to say, stop talking. You would have gotten the point from this phone that has been dead. Now, because election is a non-not, whether we don't want to vote, which is supposed to be a voluntary exercise, we are all kept to election. In fact, you cannot go to the market. You cannot do any other thing because we have refused to manage election the way it's done today in other parts of the world, where technology has become the redeeming feature of humanity. It's a problem, and one must do something about it. Now, when election is well managed, what do you get? There are different types of democracies, but you have to be in a proper democracy. 19 voted for one candidate. 16. Democracy is not about voting. This man is a coordinator. Now, if elections are well conducted, we produce best leaders. Good elections will dissuade frosty relationship between governors and the governed. Properly elected leaders will embrace genuine accountability. It's not just division of labor, but division of bureaucracy to an election management. Soon he wants to get there. That is vision. The second is passion. A man who is passionate about his job. I'm not talking about compassion. I'm talking about dedication. A person who is virtually married to his job. And you begin to see that this is somebody that is doing so well. And whenever you ask him to do a job, he does it so well, so diligently, and so passionately that you cannot separate him from that job. Then a leader must be somebody who has integrity. Whether he's below, whether he's in the middle, whether he's at the very top, he must have integrity. Are leaders, not necessarily the people at the very top. So we need to find those who can do what is popularly known as leadership by example. When we have such, we do well. So what about the Nigerian scene? I've talked generally about this topic. It will not be fair if I don't refer to Nigerian scene at all. I don't really like referring to the Nigerian scene because it gives an impression that you have come to castigate. Because it's very difficult to find something to clap for in Nigerian elections. It's very difficult. That is the truth. And I also talk as an insider because for 6 years, I was director in the Electoral Commission. And I know what we saw. I know what is done. I think there's also, and that's important, outside of INEC, there are many problems. INEC is not. Outside of INEC, there are many problems. INEC is not in charge of party primaries. But it's within party primaries, the primaries is not the candidate. So how do you blame INEC for that? Candidate. So how do you blame INEC for that? The political parties themselves are a problem to themselves. All right? The law enforcement themselves are a problem to themselves. All right? The law enforcement agencies. So the policeman was there, or some security man was there, and he saw them giving somebody money. I didn't say anything. I asked him, did they not, in your presence, give the policeman something?
Ready? I want to call the words that are associated with this man, and he's a champion. If you know him very well, you know he doesn't accept defeat. He's ready to try for as long as it will take him to get what he wants. So we echo this word together.
It's just life, that's how it is. 'Cause we have our strengths and weaknesses. Oh, I have vision, can't you see? I'm on the move, make way for me. Stand
Stand up. Woo! Woo! Stand up. Stand up. For the champion, for the champion. Stand up. Woo! Great. Aha!
fall down, I have to pick myself back up. And when I fall down,
Lao, mama. Join them. Lao, come over. Please, let mama come. For the photograph. What is the problem? Let mama come. Sorry, ma. Ije Lao. Waiting, Lao. Sorry, ma. Lao. Just 1 minute. It's over. Please, mama is coming. Sorry, mama is coming. Just wait. Yes, I've done that. Yes. Let me put on notice the panelists. Prepare your mind, sir. We'll be inviting you upstairs shortly after the paparazzi, what you find. I'm referring to our brother, the erudite scholar in the legal world, Barrister Sage Obayuana, moderator of the panel, Professor Ngozi Obiajulum Ilo, member of the panel, and of course, we have Sabina Idowu, member of the panel, and Professor Tony Ifejuku, member of the panel. So, photographer, please, let's do a bit smart so that we can get to the next program. Okay. I also want to have Professor Ide Ragbo in this panel because history is a reference point we must not forget in a hurry. Prof, you are an icon and we must bring you to this panel, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that wonderful one. On this note, my children will celebrate a country of greatness. On this note, let me now invite to the panelists. Up this way, sir. I'm inviting Barrister Osage Obayuana, a legal luminary. Sir, the moderator of this section. I'm also inviting to be a member of the panel, Professor Ngozi Obiajulum Ilo. Thank you very much, madam, for coming. I want to keep time so that we don't run out of time. Let me also invite the panel, Sabina Idowu. Thank you for obliging us your time. I know how much.
His charity begins from home. A stable home. Whether it's a wrestling match, or a football game, or any other game, if you cannot guarantee equal opportunity to all the contestants, what kind of umpire, what kind of referee are you? If you cannot assure all of fair application of the rules of the game, why would people even participate? Whether as voters. So in the final analysis, This session is also to deal with this question of justice for all. That's the only way we can talk about a win-win situation. If you win fairly, and whoever loses, loses clearly, that is the only way you can assure that you have not created a recipe for sabotage, which cannot allow for repression. So what is at stake, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, of state capture? Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we have eminently qualified discussants that will further amplify these
because they have character.
Dean of student, dean of faculty, dean of all of that. I have tried to make sure that in all those positions, we have done the job that was given to us, and we did it with integrity.
Leadership is integrity. Everybody has mentioned that. Leadership is accountability, is transparency. Leadership is mentorship. Is it that we are going to mentor our people on thuggery or violence or aggression? No, that's not leadership. That is what the young ones have been seeing, and that is what they tend to be copying. And that now brings me to the management. So if we look at that definition, we know that when I came in, people have been talking, the MC, everybody talked about that everybody is a leader. So if everybody is a leader, why are we not doing the right thing? If everybody is a leader, then we should all do the right thing. We should all be honest. We should all have integrity. We should have transparency. We should be accountable to every one of us. So it's not just looking at the person who is on top, but also those of us who are here, let's also lead by example. Let's show the people that we can lead. And I'm coming down to management of elections, because I'm sorry to say that the definition that I've been given so far, perhaps academic definition, we have gone beyond that now. We've gone beyond that. Now, talking about the management board, let's take example of the INEC. Before INEC, they have changed names, FEDECO, FEC, whatever. But the changes of names have not changed anything. And that is why we are here. I also believe that leadership is learning. Leadership is acquired. And that is why Professor Enabulele has put this together. As we are all seated, I have learned a lot. I jotted down all that they were saying. We are here to learn so that we can know how we ourselves can become better leaders. So now looking at the management of elections also have problems because of the selection of those who are going to manage the board. So for me, we start also with the
birthday. Try to kill two birds with one stone. He spoke and called himself and Enabulele. Well, I have renounced that name. I am no more an activist. I am now a moralivist. The activism, the way we knew it, and the way we still. One, a moralivist is a person of courage, of deep courage. If it's not right, don't do it. Right, don't do it. If it's not true, don't say it. If it's not true, don't say it. before Emiloka, everybody is afraid to mention his name, came on board. To mention his name, came on board. We knew what the activists did to join with respect to what? Subsidy. Where are they? Some of them are my good friends. Where are they today? That's number one. Because I mentioned Jonathan, let me just say this. Usually I don't like to talk about it. Whether you are talking, that's the point about, you know. That's what I was saying. I know Nigeria, and I don't know Nigeria. The main speakers have gone. I had questions for them. As you said, for an election. A number of times they came to me, I said no. I will not partake. Even from my colleagues, when I was in the system, who swore all the Bibles are not the axis in the wall. That
back there, the lady I sat down with, I told her I was very, where we actually, your foundation will look for young people. Young people. Us are managers.
Quick one. Quick one.
That's the last. It's a comment, it's not a question. Just to highlight some fundamentals as it pertains from my sphere of ignorance. So much as
he's angry. I'm happy he's angry. No challenge, no victory. If there's no challenge, there can't be victory. Remember, you are a frontline politician in Edo State. The challenges to make Edo, Nigeria great is in your hands and all of our hands. You are out this to situate and domesticate this information in our minds.
Ladies and gentlemen, there is hope for Nigeria. Don't despair. I am very optimistic in life. There is hope for Nigeria. Thank you.
Well, I thank you, gentlemen, for the opportunity for this session. It's precisely, without theory, all practice is aimless. There's a dialectical relationship between theory and practice. We must clarify all these issues, attain a level of consensus, and that's going to be the foundation. Even if all of us had not been born, the poor in Nigeria, sooner or later, they will win. It's science. So I want to subscribe to that, thinking that we can never despair. We cannot rest at the level of just theorization. We must also put our theory in practice. It is well. Once again, I congratulate Dr. Enabulele and the foundation that has been launched today. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Can you hand your hands together for the panelists? Your hands together for the panelists.
Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Edo State, Senator Mande of Polo, Your Royal Majesty, the Oba of Benin,
photographer, please. Can you come over? Where is our photographer?
Chairman of the occasion, Professor.
5 minutes. Professor Okono will talk to us in 5 minutes. Just very briefly, one of the speakers. I will thank you, and I thank you too. I keep thanking you because you have been extremely patient.
The Oba of Benin, Ivoire II, Bolele Foundation, and past president of the World Medical Association, Honorable Minister.
Mr. Chairman,
Send our regards.
National Financial Secretary, NMA, past chairman, Nigerian Medical Association, Edo State, to represent, actually. I'm not the president of NMA yet. Yes, not just yet. But we are looking up. So let me just go straight to his goodwill message, which he sent for me to read to this very distinguished audience. I'm centered on leadership and governance. Policy advocacy, centered on leadership and governance. Policy advocacy, health education, and social philanthropy, side by side.
And foremost in your talent, in the minds, in the ideas you have to activate, to tap on, to build your society. Ideas you have to activate, to tap on, to build your societies for more equity and access for a better living. But that needs engagement and leadership to move, to guide, and to build.
Charity. He has combined all these to form the Dr. Osahon Enabulele Foundation, a not-for-profit organization focused on progressive social change, societal development, empowerment of citizens, good governance, and leadership excellence. Knowing the founder as I do, I expect to see great things soon. I would like to close by expressing my sincere congratulations and best wishes to my friend Osahon Enabulele, and my thanks once again.
Please, the photographer, can you help us? Photographer, step up.
Audience.
This country for them. And looking into Nigeria, why this crisis is mounting? Because of there is
country we're proud of anywhere we go. On this note, today's celebrant, the foundation symbol.
Federal Government College, Ukari, All Students Association.
Enabulele Foundation. I'm happy to be deeply associated with this foundation. Meaning that this
and becomes generative and regenerative as a process. So, sir, I want to thank you so much for that offer. And every other person who have contributed so much to the success of this, those who filled the hall, those who helped us with all the other ancillary things, student bodies, professional groups, intellectuals from the university, members of the academia, even our mommy and in-laws. And
photograph, while we have the photograph, while we have the music going on. Group photograph here, please. Group photograph. Group photograph. Group photograph. Can we have the camera? The photographer, please come up. Photographer, please come up. Photographer, please come up, photographer. Graph. Please, group photograph. All members of the foundation, please wait behind. All foundation members, please wait behind. Foundation members, please wait behind. All foundation members, please wait behind. All foundation members, please wait behind. Photographer, please come over. Photographer. Thank you. Bro. Sorry, dear. Sorry, dear. Okay. We are sorry. Okay. Please, let's move about. Sorry, let's move about for photograph. Photograph. Let's have it here now. Please. Let's have the photograph. Who is your foundation members here first? The first lady, please, can you come over? Dr. Miss Enabulele, please, can you come over?
Low battery.
your name? Is it a Mrs. or is it missing? We're just people can run free.
Please, can we move a bit backwards?
So I'm asking you to be faithful to me, baby. Because I'm coming through.
Thank you. Please, Osahon is a human being, so don't go and overstress him. You need to sleep well today. Please. Because this young man will let him be. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Please, if you have the questionnaire with you, complete and send it to Christopher Jackery.
Battery. Please charge.
Wait. Sorry.
Low battery. Please charge.